Cause you was drinking the Kool-Aid, caught in the mix and yeah. Ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, use a la la, use a la la. Yeah. Well, I say your fit, you just up off the trash. Wanna get up and down, gotta get the fuck up off your monkey ass. About to go up, be up, like once you jump on, make a man do a double dash. Bitch, you're tough enough, that's why you keep letting life just come and pass, yeah. Putting on the mask and got that gutter. I know what your bitch ass been like summer. Pull up on your block in a black hummer. I'm nothing like Zeus, but I pack thunder. All through the rain, the hurricanes and tornadoes, hail, sleet, and snow. I'm in a plane, I swear the lanes, flame a sword, angel here and keep your soul. Going through pain, I remember wings, little poor angel, hell beat for show. Fuck what all you niggas heard today. I done dirtied up the pearly gates. You ain't never bringing nothing to the table. Why the fuck you think you earned the plate? I ain't dropping on no motherfucking roll, but bitch, you get curved today. I ain't never on the ground, bitch, nigga, pollen man, yeah, swerve in space. Yeah, I love me some food, same thigh, baby girl, can I serve your cake? Yeah, I was somewhere just counting my digits. Yeah, somewhere that's low-key minding my business. Yeah, ain't taking no trips, but y'all have been tripping. Cause you was drinking the Kool-Aid, caught in the mix and yeah. Ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, use a la la, use a la la. Yeah. Flipping your girl on the mattress because she just wanted to come visit Downtown City. Her ex wanna come and just fuck the shit up on the down biggie. She's screaming, you yell like you're going to hell on the down quickly. Yeah. Every time we get good at the game, they gonna just lose with you. You must be retarded, you can't put the gas in 2 and 2. A wise man once told me from a distance you can't tell who is who. Well, goddamn, DoelowDaPilotman, if you do that flu, fly by. Yeah, I was somewhere just counting my digits. Yeah, somewhere that's low-key minding my business. Yeah, ain't taking no trips, but y'all have been tripping. Cause you was drinking the Kool-Aid, caught in the mix and yeah. Ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, ooh la la la, ooh la na na. Yeah, use a la la, use a la la. Yeah.
No, but for that. Oh, sad, real shit. You can always count on a native to be flying in something bird. Goddamn it, something with wings, something in the sky, something that's astral traveler, something goddamn beyond a spaceship. Just know it's some type of vehicle, bitch. You know what? Further than that, damn, what the hell I do? Oh, here we go. Just know it's some type of vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Some type of vehicle before it's a vehicle. Where the demon go. You know what I'm saying? Don't get Peter rolled. You know what I'm saying? What Jesus know. Real shit. Just leave alone. Leave me alone. I got a completed soul. You know what I'm saying? I don't reap and old, and I don't reap what's old, bitch. You know what I'm saying? A fountain of youth. That's only where I know how to go in the esoteric world and find all the esoteric traveling concepts. Bring it down to earth. Make sure everybody can get to that location, healthy, spiritually protected, and motherfucker ain't nothing in your motherfucker way to get you closer to God. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for the Cashapp, Nicole. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Real shit. This live stream right here is all about how to get to God and give God some fruit. Because God like dancing. God like... Now, here's the thing. This ain't got nothing to do with what we do in the anatomy. All the way to dancing. You got shit that you can have 2 left feet. This ain't what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? Me and all possibilities. Other spirits that's there. Everybody that's supposed to be there, but they too busy cooking and eating for themselves. You know, God likes some of that shit too. You know what I'm saying? God want to taste them good old shits. You know what I'm saying? Good old navy beans and pinto beans and stuff like that. Some lima beans. You know what I'm saying? Squash, lettuce, tomatoes, onions. So, you know what I'm saying? God like taste stuff too. You know what I'm saying? But y'all, see, you might think I'm actually talking about lettuce. You might think I'm actually talking about lettuce, onions. See, this is what we getting into. We're gonna break it down. I'm gonna show you how to feed God and God to feed you. This is the deeper aspect of when y'all always hear me say, when you do something for God, all possibilities, God do something for you. Now here's the thing. When you're in that space of separation and no thing, when you are lost in a whole bunch of somethings, right? This is you being in the space, being a small piece in that large space. So that small piece, your spirit, being in that large space, the big old spirit overall, walking taka. Y'all might not like that name and stuff like that, but you on native lands. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. If you live in America, bitch, you gonna hear something from a native one way or another, bitch. I don't give a fuck. But shout out to everybody else. We could bring all our shit together. It already is. Animism and paganism already is. So fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But we in a new time anyway. We gotta get out of this spirit and physical racism. There's always in threes: astronomy, spiritual racism, um, um, astrology, cultural racism, and then anatomy. Y'all play it out as actual racism or something like that. So y'all gotta stop. So with the astrology mama, it's not even it's cultural racism. It's not even physical. But they get to the anatomy once they go too far in the mama. People get too much in their own feeling about what they meanings of certain things and ideologies, and then it play out through the anatomy. But truly, none of us are racist. Know what I'm saying? When it comes to all possibility, and when you got a piece, right? You're going to a space where you got so naked from all these thoughts and feelings and that bend in and become your blood, your brain, and your organs. You separated by those, even though you still got the tethering cord, which is not a cord, but you still got the connection because these things are still not in its expiration, get ready to be destroyed state based upon your mental and your physical and how it's playing out. So you're still alive. You still got a specific version that's living, which is a form, mental and physical. And then when you go to that space, knowing how to get there, because it's like a location, because how you even got into your mind and body, it's like a spiritual location. And now it became a physical location. And we can actually say up and down, left, right. So spiritually, what may appear to be in a physical may not be the same way you get there spiritual, due to the fact of, for an example, you may see somebody expressing anger. To get to that place where that essence of anger come from may not even necessarily take anger for you to even understand the true totality of where it come from, and to be able to utilize it in its most truest natural nature, and be able to fight fire against fire anytime it's being utilized against you, against your will. So whatever weapon is used with the form of passion or anger, you're developing a substance for anybody to be able to have something to use to make a weapon. And once you know how to create the actual substance of the building block of the sword, then for the most part, who's ever wielding it, you will be able to make another weapon that it has nothing to do with and don't even know how to defend itself against. And this is what I'm getting ready to take y'all into, because it's like when you're doing things for God. When you have a piece, you're separating from these mental forms. That's like mental form is like a sword. Physical form is like your anatomy and things that you play it out with. So we're going to make these things make sense. So for the most part, because anything you externalize that's logic could play out like a wand or a sword. Anything you internalize with the inward triangle could play out like a cup or a pinnacle. So, it could be the 6 point, or it could just be a star, and how you spin it around as a pinnacle. And it's just letting you know what point of reference that you're pointing at as far as your chakras and what you're trying to utilize at the moment as far as what you are expressing, to know that these are phases that you can express, that you are the creator, but you are not the creation. And these things don't get the best of you to the point that you start to get too greedy, or you start to let even a negative nature start to be seen as who you are, not necessarily being the practitioner of creating these characters just for the sake of being in this existence, and this is what we do in the first place. So now, when you get into that piece, right, area, that's you taking one step and gotta take another. And that piece, you're open because you're naked and shed it as snakeskin, dead weight, thoughts and feelings, even ones that was working for you. And you're developing that clairvoyant substance that I was breaking down the last live stream. So we're getting more in depth in it, so it can have more flavor to it on whatever we're cooking. That's food for thought, so you can eat as a spirit. We eat mind states. Those what stars are. As a spirit, you're nothing. Receive that something. Fulfill yourself up. Now you can start to bend in from inside out, and you can have some expression with that adrenaline and the stimuli that make you go and do something about it. See what I'm saying? Now, when you're in that situation where you got that peace, right? Now, that's you taking one step because you're developing that clairvoyance without no baggage, and you're naked. Bucket naked. Yeah, it's a bucket naked. Yeah. God is wanting to see you. God don't want to see you no other way. You know what I'm saying? Then you go to the left once you shed and did that esoteric baptism. Now, God is getting ready to take another step. That substantive clairvoyance is much more broader. So you are a being, but you're less than the space that you are in because you are subjective. Once you reach to that objective spot that we all created, teamwork makes the dream work, that's you emanating or building a body for God based upon you bringing a nature that was naked, shedding to create another form there, another expression, how you did it in the first place, to emanate yourself out, which is in totality separating from God all possibilities in this first place, but bringing things back to let God know that you're reaping what you sow, but you're bringing back some fruit that's actually good. So whatever main world you're maintaining can be sustained and not be destroyed once you become unfruitful or the natures that you are expressing is unhealthy. Then it play out through the father, astronomy, then it play out through the mother, astrology, then it play out through the anatomy. You being very destructive and you creating destructive energies and characteristics all the way to the point that a little bit what the Sons of Liberty did. I said I don't want to shame anybody and stuff like that, but for the most part, like I said, just sometimes stifle our ability to grow and mentally and physically in other areas that we may not be aware of due to the fact of our mind already being fucked up, utilizing the nature and doing negative things in nature already in a way it wasn't supposed to, even though we still can utilize technology. We just have to make sure we're mixing and mingling it the right way. Now, the energy we put in it. I always like to make this example. You could kill two cows. One cow was killed out of slaughter in the slaughterhouse. One cow was killed, but it was fed good. It was appreciated, almost treated like someone pet. I guarantee when you eat that, you fill up fuller and things of that nature. And the one that was negative, everybody's stomach hurt that night. You know what I'm saying? So what you kill, the spirit don't go nowhere. You can't kill the spirit. You only can kill the physical and the mind. But the spirit always going to have that ability to create those same similar situations. And they're always going to be able to find how to create a tougher tissue mentally and physically to be able to destroy whatever put it in that position in the first place, because that's just the way life is. Everybody reap what they sow to a certain degree. So keep that in mind. Now, but when you got this little piece, right? That little piece of you looking at your situations of some things like it's nothing, God fulfill it with something bigger than you, that you're just a being like a flower in that open space, being open, and then these new ideas and feelings may not be what you should be expecting or desire, because that's Lucifer, and somebody else might pop up playing out that energy and things of that nature. Then you sign a deal with the devil. Now you P. Diddy. You're open enough to it just being a will, not left into desires and expectations. It's just being a will. Then whatever you desire could be transmuted for God's will. Then for the most part, God give you a piece of something that in that broad space, you're subjective, so it's bigger than you, but you just being, you're less than that. You're able to get something bigger than you to be able to use in your less world to appear to be greater or doing things in mysterious ways than everybody on your level. Now you're being a vessel for God. And whatever that you express from what you just brought from that inside out, took that as above, brought it as below, then Hadouken, expressed it into the world and things of that nature. It develops as back pockety energy that accumulates as a physical and metaphysical matter. What mattered to you, hopefully it was that God circumstance and mission, bends into actual matter in an enemy, right? 1, 2, and third dimensional world as a person, place, or thing, circumstance, or situation that you can actually feel, be around, be in the presence, and react to the stimuli of thoughts and feelings that produce as what we call peace. And therefore, even for what you can see and what you can't see mentally, you know God is there. And if you're sitting around looking for it to be a shape or form or a face, here's where you get fucked up and get lost into Lucifer again, because it's just a phase. You should be able to sit there and be like, okay, yeah. Now, since I'm sensing this sense of peace, this situation that I was going through that may be harsh, that I may look like nothing, was allowing me to be in that little big space with my small piece of my spirit. And then I did something for God, brought some new fruit there, aka emanated a new energy that wasn't dirty from any fruit I was lost in, with clairvoyance, that substance, and God did something for me. Emanated that in the 1, 2, and third dimension and gave me physical or metaphysical representations that I actually could sit for seconds, minutes, and hours in that and call it peace. Other than I'm frustrated. Other than this is a negative day or week. Other than, oh, what's blocking? Other than, oh, these responsibilities. All that to be taken care of. So that right there, don't be looking and trying to point and put a word onto it. Shut your motherfucking mouth and just thank motherfucking God. God was there, bitch. That's it. Now, you get in that one spot, you get greedy Forget that God did that to you or for you. Start thinking that you emanated that all yourself. Start taking advantage of what God gave you. God created circumstances. Make sure that whatever God gave you, you give it away. Just because that same type of situation, that how you got it in the first place, is going to get the best of you, persuade you, go through a shift where it's on a lower octave, and the very same thing that was good going to be seen as negative, but you're going to be looking at it like you're trying to maintain something. And whatever you're trying to uphold and maintain, just back to supported by ego, greed, or just wanting to be seen a specific way, even when it ain't that season. So for the most part, you don't know how to be a real shapeshifter. That's what it means to actually shapeshift. Then once you put yourself in that situation, you get all flunked out and things, and then forgot the mission and forgot the direction that God was putting you in, even when it came to times that you were supposed to sacrifice, but you ain't want to sacrifice certain things due to the fact of the less emanation of light you was going to emit to attract that attention or accumulate. Then you put yourself into a position thinking it's the right thing to do to uphold that in different direction than where God needed you to go. And then sometimes God allow you to go so far away into the most part that you have to realize that you have ran away yourself from God and you're very distant. And sometimes you have to go so far to it play out in the anatomy as you going through a catastrophic situation to remind you, hey, look back. You didn't walk or flew way too far away from God and shit like that. Somewhere down the line, you forgot you was going in the opposite direction. And you ain't gonna have no one to blame but your motherfucking self once you reach that magnitude, or that emanation, or that expansion of that you went from the inside out and you traveled to in the layers of trying to create another mind in an area within this mind to expand and give birth to another atmosphere that, you know, we all could participate. Teamwork makes the dream work, and actually produce those organs and start to become that new type of spiritual race, spiritual root race. You know what I'm saying? That can have multiple ethnicities in it due to the fact of the sun expanding, but taking that geographical location and emanating everybody out to specific water. And that's going to be relative to how their mind bend in and become their skull phenotype. And then for the most part, all of those individuals will share that kind of brain, just on different geographical locations. And that's how we get a new spiritual root race species. So that's how we got humans now, alligators, but you see how dogs, canines, but you see how we got Doberman pinschers, Rottweilers, German Shepherds, Pit Bulls. You see what I'm saying? It's like that. All same spiritual root race, emanated in different transitions of astronomy, astrology, and anatomy. But that's all the same spiritual root race. They're a different spiritual root race than the feline. That's a different spiritual root race. Then when we get to the insects, everything in that nature, there is no other explanation of how these things here. If you're going to sit here and say what the fuck I'm talking about a pseudo, then this is leaving us behind. And I feel like this would NASA and Neil deGrasse and things of that nature need, and then like produce some type of situation that I could be amongst them too. Like this is type of stuff that we need to have conversations about, like real shit. I feel like this shift things, because a lot of these things that's being utilized with our tax dollars to be studied is things that has a non-ending, that shouldn't be a study. It just should be a curriculum that's taught in school as a production of our mental stimuli, like it's a muscle, not necessarily need to be studied so we can utilize how that we can mix it with technology or so. That is, certain things should be used for education, and then there's other things that should be used for science. And I think about 65 to 70% of things that's used for science and technology and just behind closed door studies and things of that nature by the people who do peer reviews and shit like that, about 65 to 70% of it is things that should be produced for education purposes, for people to learn about this, how mind work, not necessarily studies of this could be encapsulated and utilized. You'll never, about 65% of these things that they're trying to study ain't even something you can be able to study like that in the first place to try to produce a technology off of it. You get what I'm saying? For an example, they got some like brain thing that's supposed to measure the neurons or some shit like that. Yet neurons is going to be something that they have to come to the conclusion that, oh, it's like an atom that pop in and out of existence. See, you have to come up with faulty reasoning after something when it's a wrong starting point. That's the wrong starting point in general. If anything, that concept itself shouldn't be in no pseudo box or pseudoscience box. It should be something taught in school in its natural nature. And the teacher should be teaching it like this. Your thought is what the atom was talking about, that pop in existence. And get rid of that thought right now. Pardon me, y'all. Get rid of that thought right now. Okay, boom. It disappeared. So every time you emanate a thought, that's something coming in existence. Every time you destroy it and think about something else or just go blank, it disappeared. So that's what we was always talking about as atoms. Boom. If you teach that in school, just that alone being a starting point,
goes into other areas of people's life on a day-to-day. When it comes into business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, a person is more aware of their thoughts. It becomes something like it's normal, and already just that little small teaching that ain't even taken as serious built on a person's mind on their own as mental and metaphysical stimuli, muscle building. You know what I'm saying? So just think about if a kid already think it's normal that, oh, my thoughts is the thing that go in and out of existence. A lot of kids at early will not be as scared as scary movies and things of that nature, where they had nightmares. They'd be like, oh, this is my thoughts that can keep emanating, and I'm learning that my thought is the thing that come in and out of existence. So if I always have this thought watching a scary movie, but they just had this on their mind, not even thinking that it's learning. Like once you give a seed, it spring itself. And a person already emanate their own thoughts and feelings, right? Air, fire, thoughts and ideas, and water, earth, emotion and feelings. But earth is this, it's the pot, the seed, the soil once it all condensed. But you know, water, emotions. Then once they're given that, once you give them that seed, they're constantly doing that. And this is where able to sit from a distance to see what kid is going to be more intelligent than another, already doing something that's teaching themselves by having that small seed in them, and they're adding their own vision, fire, and their own emotion, water to it with that air and earth that they produce from outside in to produce for themselves, right? And then they're going to be thinking like, oh, okay, let me get rid of this thought. Less nightmares to be played out. A lot of things where a kid may feel emotionally in trauma once they reach a certain age before they become a adult. I mean, not an adult, but like one of those teenagers around 13, 14. And, you know, once they start to learn that Santa Claus ain't real, like a lot of that will get rid of. A lot of parents won't even have that pressure anymore due to the fact of these things being a natural curriculum, not things being used to pluck and try to create a little goddamn neuron trip every time, because it's all about money. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes some of these things just needs to be goddamn studies, because it's how the natural brain work. And if everybody just learning in school little simple stuff like that play out in other areas of life, there'd be less people in jail. But so you can't really talk like that on YouTube right now, because like little do y'all know, jails are actually an industry. See, talking about stuff like how I'm saying it right now, and that in one world it sound right, in someone else's world and family it sound different. It sound like, wait, you trying to fuck up my business or something like that? Wait, shut up. You talk about Dolo, shut your ass up. We milking this bitch. I said it's a multi-million-dollar running business right now. Wait a minute. Hey, don't you want a Phantom too? Shut your fucking mouth there. I said real shit. Don't you want a Ghost Phantom? Don't you got a Rolls Royce too? Don't you want one too? Hell yeah. Shut your fucking mouth there. No, I said, but I'll just give y'all a little tweak of what's be going on sometimes. But other than that, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just these little curriculums and stuff like that, I think, well, and let me say I think, therefore I am, you know, so more to beat. But at the same time, I think it's healthy, it's more for God, and it's less harm. And individuals being in this starting point also makes them more productive citizens within the world. Because for the most part, all the thoughts that make a person lazy and things of that nature, they automatically got this seed planted from goddamn Head Start to whatever they graduated, if they even graduated. But for the most part, that's always going to spring upon. So it's going to be something that a person always in search for, like common sense, without even knowing that's what they're doing. And a person might be like, oh yeah, I didn't cut my auntie grass and shit like that. What thoughts I keep having I'm not forcing it to disappear, that keep making me not wash my ass and cut my auntie's grass or some shit like that. Bars. I said at the boom, let me get rid of that. Get rid of that. Auntie grass is cut now. Grandma grass is cut and shit. You see what I'm saying? So somebody don't stink no more. Those big machinery, steel toe boots and shit like that. Oh, I'm saying. Something simple like that, not something we need to do some test study, rock people to sleep, and still never find the atom that came in existence to even make up it disappear. After you ain't even found the one that came in existence yet. We ain't gonna find the one that come in existence before we start doing studies about the one that disappears. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you gotta think. Sometimes you gotta think. Wow, you know what I'm saying? Well, shit, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, yeah, let's get into it now. We 12 minutes in. Oh, we 24 minutes in. Damn. That's already a whole show of Star Trek. Already, before we even got into the damn shit. Damn, we already did, because, you know, like, they'd be bullshit talking about it's a half an hour. Like, I remember Dragon Ball Z days and shit, and Tsunami and shit, good old, you know what I'm saying? You'd be talking about, yeah, it is a half an hour. Man, that should be like 15 minutes, because it'd be like 3 minutes per commercial time. So then it'd be about 3-4 commercial breaks and shit. Then make Goku and them, they do a whole goddamn 10-minute stare down of thinking left, right, the Christianity shit behind it before they even start fighting. Then you think you about to watch the cold episode because you seen the previews in the last episode. Like, oh, they finally meet, they gonna scrap. No, they just met and looked at each other for a whole 20 minutes. And then little cutscenes of Chi-Chi and everybody complaining about it and shit like that. Like, oh, what Goku gonna do? And then gonna curl it. What y'all gonna do? Sit there and just watch it. Shut your ass out. You gotta wait the next week and shit. Y'all wait the next week and shit when shit starts, shit get lit. You know what I'm saying? Remember that time? So you forget the show's gonna be half an hour. They be damn 15, 12 minutes. Oh, I'm saying shit. We all gonna stop that shit too, wasting people's time. I swear, everything is about money. They gotta get that check. Every commercial about 35,000 goddamn new people selling something. America don't do nothing but teach everybody how to scam. That's one good trait Germans got though. It's a yin and yang to everything. It's a yin and yang to everything. And yin is goddamn they go too far negative. The yang is they gonna make that dollar bill. They're gonna figure out a way to get that dollar and colonize your ass and colonize your brain. And, you know what I'm saying? Some way, somehow. Like, oh, real shit. It's a good and bad with everything. Y'all just gotta learn some of these qualities for yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all gotta learn go get Home Depot or some good house appliances and shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Carpet powder, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Clean, soap, you know, about 2-3 racks, you know what I'm saying? One for your ass, one for your face. There's a lot of y'all be wearing like washing, I'm saying wash your ass with the same rag your face. I'm saying a lot of y'all be thinking of stuff like that. A lot of y'all gotta start thinking sometimes. Real sick. Get you some good bath salts off Amazon, ST, you know what I'm saying? One of those pages and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure you get rocked to sleep, but I'm pretty sure it's that first thing you type in, the algorithm, 1,000 Masons there. I'm pretty sure you get some Masons right there. They got all the good dope candle drawing carvings in it. Eyeballs, all kind of shit like that. So it ain't like you at a loss of things. You got things to go get to wash your ass and shit like that. Like you got things to go get. It's all over online. Shit. So there ain't no excuses for it. It really ain't no excuses. Like it really ain't no excuses. You get all kind of spiritual, light some candles and shit, sprinkle it in your hot water and shit, and soak your ass in there. Soak your ass in there and shit. I'm saying, pray for tomorrow that you're going to hit that lottery ticket when you scratch it and shit. You know what I'm saying? Do that shit. As long as whatever it takes to get your ass off the streets and stop fucking up other people's life. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. You know what I'm saying? You just waste your time to confuse the manager at your goddamn job, mess everybody up that you know life up and things of that nature. Yeah, you need to relax. Go sit down and relax a little bit. Go sit down and relax just a little bit. I'm saying. All right, let's get into this. Now, we're going to talk about astral traveling right now. So, when it comes into astral traveling, right? What's astral? Astral is what you can't see, but you know is there. So, there's things you got from a subjective point of view that you can see, no one else can see, unless you utilize your air and earth element, aka the wind and the organs they've been down to be. So these are your externalization tools. Then, so you can emanate for something to be seen that wasn't seen previously. Now, your internal emanation tools is fire and water. So fire will be the expression of vision, feeling. Then when you accumulate that macro sun, it turns into a lot of clouds or it cools off. So what was hot cools off and it becomes cloudy, and that's the esoteric waters. I'm saying, because we know how water get condensed and we see how clouds. So you see what I'm saying? You have the sun, internal, fire, vision, feeling. And once you express that feeling, you have multiple feelings. You make a womb, and now it's cloudy. Now you have water, you have fluid, and you can be cool in it. It doesn't have to be hot, spicy. It's something that can be enjoyable, cooled off, dancing in the rain. Then, when you bring those qualities together, you're cooking, you're manifesting, you're being an alchemist, you're being a practitioner, taking this feeling, making this emotion, taking this feeling, making this emotion, taking this fire, making this water, taking this sun, making this cloud, taking this atmosphere, producing that emanation of the sun to make the wife, the moon, the reflection of it. So all of that is the same thing. Taking this one, making a two. Taking that one, making a two. Right? Now you're being expansive, explosive. And if it's sounded, that means whatever you're emanating, it can make sense to be birthed in an anemone. If it's not sounded with that explosion, it's not going to make sense when you emanate it through the air and the earth, or with your physical form to express it outwardly with your external tools, air and earth. And it's not going to be seen, or it's not going to sound right, or it's not going to emanate, or it's not going to be influential, or it's not going to be impactful. It's a small alchemy. It's a small form. It's a small mixture of fire, water to produce as steam, air, to be expressed as earth, whatever you practically do. You know what I'm saying? Or however you practically sustain that aura, even if you're being stoic. You know what I'm saying? The vibe would be picked up as it being extremely dry, or it being extremely practical, or just the earth element itself, even when you're not doing anything with your body. These are just elements. You see what I'm saying? So this word dry sarcasm or things of that nature come from when y'all start to give things titles to how something being represented. So that what we do is how we do it. Everybody could be doing the what comedy, but how someone do it is what makes them unique. You know what I'm saying? Everybody could be doing the what basketball, but how they do it is what makes them unique. You know, Steph Curry, he from Ohio. Shout out to him. Ohio, air, woo. But for the most part, you know, he may be, it ain't what basketball, it's the how. How he do it, he could shoot a lot better 3-pointers than a lot of individuals. You got Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't the what basketball, it was the how. He was able to, you know, play shooting guard, point guard, small forward, power forward, goddamn it, and he probably was trying to be greedy or joke when they had practice, like, look, I can play center if I want to and start whooping ass and shit like that. But that's hidden locker room. That's hidden locker room talk right there. That's only hidden locker room talk. You know what I'm saying? A lot of motherfuckers probably was jealous of Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, his size and weight, they're not going to allow him to be center professionally while they on the court in the middle of a game. But you could bet your bottom dollar for him to be sometimes small forward, power forward, shooting guard, point guard, 1, 2, 3, or 4. You can guarantee when they at practice and they be having fun and shit, he'll slide in there and be challenging them too, even center sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Guaranteed. That's the competitor spirit. All you gotta do is go to that sentiment. You go to that space and be like, yeah, you wouldn't even did all them other things. And if it was possible that a smaller size and body frame could be the center, you probably would have been doing that too. They probably would have had you playing all 5 when it's necessary or when it's needed. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to MJ when he was in his motherfucking prime. You know what I'm saying? But let's break this down. Now, sentiment. Astral, all right, before we even break this down, because we got to get this clear, because a lot of times this is taking us into the space that a lot of y'all are in already. Y'all just flying very low. And this is how you end up thinking you come across something intelligent, still end up getting blood on your hands. It's just the way you got blood on your hands, or it backfired, may have took a little longer than someone else that you seen in front of you that you just looked at, pulled from to be like, I see your mistake being a fool. I could do some wisdom from it. And you give a little bit more of you going down the same path as them, or just a little bit more life. So you able to experience not to fall as fast as them, yet you going along the same direction or path, you thinking you're just doing something better and you're not on the same path, which ultimately the further you jump, the harder to fall. So you don't even know that you're on that path, but eventually it'll come. You know what I'm saying? Look at it like this. Dope dealers. Cartel. You know, sometimes it's fools that fall first to make the other person be like, all right, we got to do it better this way. And they become a little better, sufficient. But at the same time, that person that did that still on the same path, cartelling, right? So even though the first person fell first and everybody learned their mistakes, that person probably just got 6 months to 18 months based upon them getting caught fast and not getting left to accumulate a long time so it become a bigger crime. Person who used that, ooh, we're going to do it this way. Yeah, got away a lot longer, maybe even 10 years. You know, the feds will watch you for 10 years, right? But guess what? The higher the jump, the harder to fall. When they do get caught 10 years later, though, all those times thinking they was doing the right thing, they also get more time, too. 60 goddamn years to motherfucker life, where the individual may have got caught that they utilize as a food. At the same time, yeah, you may have looked at that and thought you could come up with something better. But if you still didn't know in totality that you're still on the same path, you don't know that you're on that road of jumping higher the harder to fall. And that whole time you just think you're doing something else different than that individual, not knowing esoterically you're still in the same city and state in Babylon of that energy that you look around left, right, and see those buildings to give you those thoughts and feelings to do these things down here. So you was on the same street as that person, and just because that person was on a one way and got caught and pulled over, and you just drove right or something like that the right way on a regular street, don't mean you ain't still in that city and state in your mind in Babylon, in your spaceship with your mind. See what I'm saying? So a lot of times you might think you be getting in there while the getting is good until, you know what I'm saying, you reach that situation where also your consequences is a lot more harsh, but you ain't know that you was on that same path of the higher you jump, the harder to fall. See what I'm saying? Now, so when it comes into astral, right, it's just basically taking what you're emanating from the fire and water and put it out through steam and earth. Logic and practicalizing it. And if it's not logical or be able to practicalize, go back to the esoteric drawing board and make a new fire feeling and make a new water emotion collection of those feelings. So look at feelings like suns or forms that's masculine, and look at when they come together, they produce a womb or an egg cell, and that'll be just it being expanded. And then it has multiple sides to it now as one thing, because you're emanating that with your substance, making different sides of it, visions, feelings, to make one big cooled off cloud after it, the first hot one, accumulate as the different ones, and then cool off and become that big womb cloud emotion. Now you can have your day to rain. You know what I'm saying? It'll be your day to rain, your emotion, this feeling that you got to get it off in some way, shape, or form. And if it's structured right through a mosquito, aka air and earth, it could be produced and externalized through the mathematic procedure of how things in the 1, 2, and 3rd dimension work, that when other people get impacted by it, it makes sense when they receive it through their solar system, their system for their soul to fly in. And if they agree with it, they leave a piece of that within them that they can start to expand on that flower atmosphere and start to run that new, if it's for God, they help you create the new universe. You know what I'm saying? Or if it's something that they don't agree with, it go within one chakra and out the other. AKA, oh, that's not me. I don't agree with these thoughts and don't think or feel as a spirit. AKA, don't add no seeds, feelings, or emotions to that no more. So they don't have that thought or feeling. AKA, vision and water, seed and water. So they're not going to, it's not a seed that's inside of them that they're going to plant their self with water, emotion, and fire, their own vision from their own subjective point of view. So it's not going to be a situation that they externalize it either with air and earth, steam, aka the ability to transport it externally, whether body language, voice, or a thought that they're getting ready to emanate as an aura, even if it's stoic, and earth, practicalizing it, making it make sense, utilizing their body, utilizing something in the world, or just that aura itself being substantiated in that conviction. So you got a boundary, you got a virtue, you got a principle. Virtues is multiple feminine, multiple concepts that could come together to one conclusion that you don't want to live without, and it's something that you live by. So it becomes a principle, it becomes a gaffle, it becomes something substantiated, it becomes like a Mario flag you plant on the ground. You see what I'm saying? So we're getting alien right now. This is alien. This is how you came here in the first place, and you getting ready to go into something greater. We all going into something greater now. We're getting this new glorified body. It wouldn't be this kind of talk if it wasn't that way. It wouldn't be something you're interested in if it ain't that kind of way. This is where we're going. You know what I'm saying? Now look. So when we start to talk about, that's the astral. You know what I'm saying? Just what others can't see, but you can see within you. And when you choose to externalize it, if you got the procedure right, the more it makes sense, the more it develop as back pockety energy, and the more something that you can accumulate, the representation of the essence that was in your mind as physical matter or mental matter that still represent that same stimuli that you can experience in this reality. You know what I'm saying? And however that may be, whatever form it may come through. Now, sentiment are created from guilt, because sentiment is important. Right now, if you're a person, now, I'm Archangel Uriel. When you don't have sentiment, you don't have any issues that come from it. But when you use everything like a bitch, you know, this world is full of sentiment. So this is where it comes to the highest level of fighting fire with fire, where you're utilizing sentiment because you're in the world, yet you don't naturally have a sentiment you're complacent in. So you're able to be free of all sentiments and use all sentiments at your will. See what I'm saying? Therefore, this stops you from in that first space of creating this kind of organ that you're tired of. Because these are the first emanations of mental forms, your atmosphere, with your spiritual root race, and then it condensing and becoming that fashion of organ that you only want to see yourself in. And that's the kind of body y'all got right now. See what I'm saying? And when y'all using forms that pre-exist you and y'all start to utilize it in other ways, the spirits has enough of that mental concept that everybody is doing, which is a soul trapping that people don't understand, by having the same type of thoughts and actions as what pre-existed you, but you have no choice because it's your mind and body. And a spirit that can't pass on has a big enough mind cloud atmosphere that everybody gave with their own seed and feelings and emotion, not knowing what they're doing because they came after the fact, are able to summon people back like me. So I'm saying, then instead of me living through y'all inside of y'all mind, now I'm birthed out and now y'all have to live through me. So this old way can be imploded and I can teach you how to be you better. And then we all go through that new atmosphere, right? And it's an extension. So mama's womb is being extended and we're birthing in a new reality, which in its very instant extending a new form of an atmosphere. And the sun may be able to, that temperature has another clashing with the previous one, the old and outdated one, to produce a sun at another angle that start to produce the material spermacide of every spirit that's getting ready to jump in all the atmospheres and things within it forms to start to explode that life from the inside out. And those existences and organs and bugs and creatures and human, whatever the forms those going to be, going to represent that spiritual spaces that reach that certain space to emanate those certain mental forms, thoughts, and feelings that condensed and became that atmosphere that's relative to condense and become that fusion, friction, and pressure of those organs. And those spirits that jump in, that implosion to explode it, going to be the only ones that can survive or have full control over that atmosphere and environment, mind and body, and land. You see what I'm saying? So this is how we bring as above, so below, heaven on earth, due to the fact of being so entwined with the atmosphere in your mind. This is how it works. You know what I'm saying? Or you wouldn't be here to be able to compare and contrast other species. And you wouldn't be someone that's creating an atmosphere to make people attracted to your vibe. And your vibe, you're gonna make it look like the atmosphere you created for your vibe. Your atmosphere is gonna look like it. Whether it's your favorite colors, whether it's your things you're into, or however the case may be. So this is, and you took that from the environment, and you need the same thing that you're made out of. So if you're made out of water, you need that. If a mosquito was made out of human blood, they need that. So it's telling you we're creating everything outside of us from the inside out. Duh, we are the organ. So it's either we do it right or we don't. Y'all get it? Now that your mind is right, now we're going to get into it because I had to get my mind right first. Now that your mind right, and you're able to understand what I'm saying in its full totality, you're able to jump into this world, and you can start it from us adding a little flavor to it now. Let's say you watching like Constantine or something like that. Or you're watching a movie that got something to do with two worlds. And it's some emotion you go through, and then you switch and see the other world. And it's almost like you get out of it. You get out of one world and lift up, and then you're walking in another world. And it's just like this one, either in reverse or is it all different. And you see the real words of before things become actual words. And it's just emanations, right? And you're seeing everything as is in some way, in shape or form. That's where I'm taking y'all, and that's where y'all always been. Y'all never been really nowhere else, because you could be in jail or you could be somewhere around your family, friends, and associates, and you drift off in your mind. There, it's just your level of lack of comprehension is what's only making you perceive only certain parts of this realm through what was taught to you or what you was indoctrinated with to think that was more important. So a lot of times y'all use y'all chakra and brain organ to understand the other chakras and organs that it can't understand the full totality of. And when you using one full totality and give it a filtering system to understand that's the full totality of the other one, you truly only understand the other one through the full totality of this one. So let's use this as an example. Let's say the crown chakra and the brain allows you to be extremely practical. But let's say the root chakra got something to do with passion, but there's layers to it that you may not understand that's beyond passion. When you use your brain to understand the root chakra and don't just spiritually understand the way that chakra is and how you're supposed to see the external world through that lens that don't have this kind of eyeball, but it's still the same type of thing. These are different sees, different ways of seeing. You'll just come up with, oh, this is a practical way of understanding passion. You get it? When it comes to the heart chakra, you're like, okay, I feel the emotion. Then you try to understand it with the brain. So the ultimate thing be, oh, this is a practical way of understanding my emotion. You never understand, oh, this is my emotion of my emotion. Oh, this is my root chakra of my root chakra. Oh, this is my practicality of my practicality. You never understand them in their true state. You're always using one to analyze the other. And that leaves you in a state of hand-me-down knowledge without even knowing it. Duplicating baggage without even knowing it. Biases without even knowing it. False interpretations without even knowing it. So you may be seeing something, but you're seeing it through the lens of another filter. And you're never going to be able to see the full totality to have the full access of what you're actually being aware of as an optic. And anytime you're in that position, you end up becoming a fool to the energy itself and stuff like that, where it takes advantage of you. You're not able to take advantage of it, especially when it's a substance of pre-existence. And you're just now experiencing it, and it's not something you're the arbiter of by it being natural to you. See what I'm saying? So this can become a misabuse of power that shouldn't be considered power. It should be things that we understand this is what's going on with everybody's mind, but we're just going through a new time right now. So, for lack of better words, these things can make you appear to be transmusive, androgynous, alien-like, because it ain't necessarily about what organ you in at the moment. It's about when your mind reach a higher, or not lack of better words, more expanded space, everything within it becomes something that you see from the outside in. So whether you know about something or not, you're able to wear it like a coat and be the actual representation of it. So even if you do come up with the words, because God always gives you the words, your character itself be everything that whatever other individual is in it, from the handy-down and reverse way of it, backwards way of it, you will be the living expression of that. You'll be the living expression of everything they talking about, everything they trying to be, everything they want to become, everything that they're looking towards. You know what I'm saying? So if that's a form of light, you're in a position of creating the light that anybody is in search of. You see what I'm saying? And then something new has to be developed there. So you're already doing something for God. You're doing something for all possibilities. God ain't the father or the mother. The father is astronomy. Mother is a time, points of reference. Those are God's first children. All possibilities, walk and talk, are first children. So they might be father and mother to you, but they're God's first children, masculine and feminine. Then you're just the anatomy produced from them. So points of references, astronomy, father, meaning, how it means and what it means to you, and your reactionary energy in response to it, mama. Then it goes into your anatomy, and you have your own nature of that you need to raise yourself up in, your own masculinity and femininity. So as a spirit, we're truly all androgynous, but we pick organs as a representation of what we have failed in and what we need to connect back to as our pieces of the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? And then therefore that's the only mission, to make something to look like nothing. And once we take things besides that, that's when we're going to get more and distant from God. But at the same time, as a spirit, we're always left with some androgynous type work within ourselves first. That takes us into animism, or if you're in Europe and things of that nature, romanticism. And not just to get paid off of it, but as a true nature to understand, as within, so without. So that stimulates and become as above, so below. So you could take more responsibility of what you're putting out in the world now. Because as within, so without, you put it out. Now the lighter substance plays out as above, and when it condense as below, that's you getting ready to meet your maker or reaping what you sow, positive or negative. And if you're building up practices of not caring about what you're putting out in the world, yet there's awarenesses that whatever you're putting out in the world can possibly be negative or however the case may be, okay, that's for a reason. And it's for you to check that, not create a manipulation way around that. That creates an implosion. Figure out a way around that. That creates expansion. And then once that mind stimulate and produce and externalize within the atmosphere, that's always a piece of you that plays out like an echo. No matter what mind and body that you go into or separate from, you're always able to pick up an echo because your spirit always have that ability to be in that frequency vibration to pick up everything you emanated in that frequency vibration as energy. And then for the most part, wherever you go, there you are. So you might be thinking you taking different minds, bodies, or even if you're still alive, different circumstances or situations, but your spirit is always going to be in that same area in the spiritual world, in that same city and state, that you're just developing a different shape and form, circumstance, or magnitude of the same substance. And then wherever you go, there you are. No matter if it look like a different person, place, or thing, you're experiencing the same stimuli, the same space you in as a spirit to manifest the same thoughts and feelings to emanate as the same reactions. Know what I'm saying? So you have to keep that in track too, because a lot of times y'all be thinking that y'all get ready to getting it in while they're getting this good type energy, and it's really the same road, the same path. You're just trying to go through a different doorway. But what good is going through a different door if the building itself is retarded that you in? You know what I'm saying? You went to the chiropractor instead of the hospital. So it don't matter what room you go into, you gonna find a whole bunch of chiropractors and people that are, or someone who crack your feet, or someone to massage you, or the massage room. You know what I'm saying? If you got a headache or something like that, or it's an emergency, you ain't gonna find that door in that whole building. So, see what I'm saying? So that's when it comes to like mental health, mental illness. Look at it like that too. And look at your mind like a vehicle. Like, look at it like the native. You're on native land. Look at and the better your vehicle is, the further the distance and the faster you could go. Some of y'all be in semi-trucks. So a lot of y'all got the Washi-Hu mind a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for the Washi-Hu coming over here mixing with natives, because now we got spaceships and birds and thunderbirds and, you know what I'm saying, Pontiacs and shit that's outdated, but all kind of shit. But for the most part, car, horses. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, put yourself into a situation where, you know, you think stagnated or a small world, because you in a vehicle that's sluggish, old and outdated, and it need a lot of fluids. It need a lot of gas, need a lot of oil and things of that nature. So you need to be gassed up a lot. You need to be motivated a lot and things of that nature. So you become a victimizing person and shit like that due to the fact of not taking responsibility for your own vehicle, your own spaceship, and not developing no esoteric currency, aka building up self thoughts and feelings of, ooh, I like this expression and things of that nature, to gas yourself up. So you ain't got no esoteric currency that can produce attention, that can make you be like, this thought could take off and not be a dodo bird, aka something that don't take flight. Then for the most part, if you ain't developing no esoteric currency, you're playing victimhood, expecting someone else to gas up your spaceship, gas up what's on your mind to make you feel good about doing it. And then if you ain't got no gas, you're not going to be able to move, aka emotion, go with the flow once all that gas is in your spaceship, the idea of it, and the gas, the emotion that people put it into it. You know what I'm saying? So the fire is how it looked, the image of it. The image of your spaceship is a small world. The image of your thought of yourself look retarded. It's probably look like a semi-truck. You know what I'm saying? You think you the biggest thing in the world, but you need others to fill up the tank. You know what I'm saying? So it take a lot of passengers, it's cement in the back. You need a lot of people to unload it and shit like that. So you need a lot of people to take your baggage. You know what I'm saying? You need a lot of people to take your fucking shit that's on your, or should be on your shoulders, on your back and shit like that, but you want to dump it on somebody else's construction site. And they too busy working on their fucking self. So you slow the whole process up for yourself and others when you're not getting yourself together. You get what I'm saying? Look at it like that. Get in debt with this shit, because for the most part, you'll be able to look at other individuals around you and speed up the process and be able to look at like, damn, I got my car from the same esoteric car lot. Let me go in this George Jetson Babylon world. Shit, I could get enough esoteric currency to go purchase a spaceship. You know what I'm saying? Now welcome to my world. You know what I'm saying? But you got to get esoterically rich. You got to get spiritually rich, like me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all might be in third dimension and enemy situations that a point that your mind was so small to produce that situation, you don't even see yourself no other way to know that you got to same energy you put into something, same energy you got to put back in a different way to get out of it as building stepping stones. So a lot of y'all might be in third dimensional situations that you don't even see yourself acting or plan out a certain role or character. Plant the real God consciousness dissonance, not the delusional one where you confused about yourself. But for the most part, you know what it is, but you plan out that actual energy. A lot of y'all too much question, oh, this person gonna see me this way. This person gonna see me that way. And I'm gonna feel weird and uncomfortable. Let me just go ahead and act like I like sports. So I'm just using these as allegories and things of that nature. You're not developing esoteric currency. Look, all attention, good attention when you're doing it in this way. A lot of times when you have a person that's even trying to force you back into something that they thought you agree with, you're building esoteric energy. You're living rent-free in their mind. They're paying you esoteric currency. You know what I'm saying? They telling other family members, friends, associates, co-workers, yeah, they used to like football, but they don't like it no more. This all that is free energy. Don't jump into it, right? And be like, want to argue and prove something to them. Stay out of it and transmute it for God. All possibilities. Waka taka. Take it and use it towards something that you like to do, so it makes them even matter. So whatever you're doing, you don't allow them to drag you back in, secretly try to convince you to like sports again, so they can feel good about themselves, to not feel like they're into something wrong. I'm just using this as an example. It ain't got nothing to do with sports, but y'all know this goes for everything. And also, you having some back pockety energy, not wasting time playing tit for tat, transmuting it to that back pockety energy. Now you're double yards away. They can't bring you back to make you care about something, that so that they probably feel like they're wrong about something, so you can't validate them, and you're making them even matter, because whatever you replace that with is putting you in a better position than them too, to have even another audience or other people or other family members talking about you and congratulating you and things of that nature. Now this person can't even throw a rock to be like, hey, look at me, argue with me again. Hey, look at me, come back in my world again. Then at that point, man, you might end up manifesting a family member that's secretly plotting to kill your ass or some shit like, goddamn it, what's the movie, Selena, rest in peace her goddamn souls. Goddamn it, once she an Aries. Shout out to all my Aries out there, my beautiful Aries out there. You know what I'm saying? We get it bad. We get bad rap sometimes. We get a lot of bad rap sometimes. Before we even get to explain ourselves and show a person we really meant, our damn maintenance lady or our damn assistant or something like that got a whole damn revolver in our face for something they damaged in and expected us to help them with it that we ain't never know. They never asked. You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn. They made up in their own mind we were selfish. They made up in their own mind that we wouldn't have had no time. And they got to make sure they play their part right and be perfect if they got a job from us or something like that. It's like, God damn, y'all give us bad raps. Aries, why y'all give Aries bad raps like that? Why y'all do that? Lord Jesus Christ. Y'all make Aries have to fight shit we don't even know we fighting. We be fighting other people's feelings, emotions, other shit like that. You know that? We be being ourselves half of the time. Not thinking nobody watching in the world and shit like that. Here you go get secret calls from your auntie and shit like that. Yeah, I know you understand. I'm like, oh, damn. You know what I'm saying? Shit, yeah, Aries be going through shit like that. Aries go through shit like that. Aries always go through shit like that. Managers get offended and you out working shit like that. You making a joke about something you synced on your own time on a commercial. You ain't know it was just in sync with whatever your manager actually do in real life and shit like. Yet now you get this weird animosity for the past 6 months. You've been getting weird animosity and shit, not even knowing why and shit. It's a whole secret plot to get you fired and shit. And all like damn, like, what the hell is going on? Like, you don't know where it's coming from and shit. Damn, stop giving Aries bad raps. For sure. And throw Scorpios in that box, bitch. My Martians, my fellow Martians. Throw Scorpios in that box. Shout out to Joe Biden. Y'all cut him some slack sometimes. Cut him a little slack sometimes. You know what I'm saying? He dealing with some things. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Some shit y'all would never know. That's just like Aries and Scorpios. This shit. When we dealing with some things, you would never know. We deal with it on our own. You know what I'm saying? You just know it was something taken care of when you see us. And that's it. That's it. Don't ask. Don't ask. No questions. Don't ask. Just know the Martian's okay. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Real shit. All right, but yeah, let's get into this right now. One clear thing when we astral traveling and things of that nature, because you're going to be making little forms, little Jimmy Neutron and princess bodies and stuff like that. One of the main things, because when you always with God, everybody's not going to be here. So everybody going to realize after what I'm getting ready to teach, you already in a sentiment, right? And the more layers you get out of it, you'll start to realize this is some deep shit. It ain't something you can snap in and snap out of. It's almost like weights. So when you're building a mental muscle, it's really not a mental muscle. It's you astral traveling to different locations and learning where the substance is at, the essence is at, that make these things in the first place. So an example, it's always 3 layers, because you got a spirit, mind, body, space, time, matter. You know what I'm saying? So teamwork makes the dream work. So the overall space, God, with its observant mind, you know what I'm saying? Mother, father, right? And it's condensing and becoming the environment, aka the earth, the land. So we know that the first and most important is the atmosphere. Now, you got your own micro version of that. Your soul, your individual space, individual spirit, which is a soul, a specific point of reference for the first time. What are you observing? Your stars, your minds, thoughts, men, women, feelings, right? Emotions. Then, what do they produce when they fuck? It becomes blood flow, adrenaline, stimuli, organs, right? And the physical. So these is helping you understand you're not going somewhere out there. You're emanating new forms, and these things condense as like a machine, and not a real machine, but it play out in an enemy. We could make machines, but this essence, it play out how we make organs. The machine mechanic algorithm of organ. So your organ, your body ain't a machine, but that thing, what we do, is a working. You see what I'm saying? So this help you understand that heaven concept, no. That Mormon concept, no. Or you wouldn't be here and expanding into a greater form for you to look back and not be a fish, but yet a fish there. You to not be an alligator, yet an alligator there. You to not be a feline or a canine, yet it's there. You to be who you are, and the atmosphere is here, and you to not be the atmosphere yet, but you here, and you with an atmosphere. You get what the fuck I'm saying now? Welcome to my world, bitch. A human could train an animal, but an animal can't train a human. An atmosphere could train a human, but a human can't train an atmosphere. So, in all actuality, when you find yourself, you look in yourself, you look, you a little creature. The older you are as a creature, the younger you are down here. You know how to reverse age, and you start to understand you truly only your numerology age. Right now, I'm a life path number 9. I'm just spiritually on that cycle. I could have been on that cycle many times in other cycles. So the more you understand that's your spirit age, you can take the form that you're in that's get ready to expire as a mental form, because you know it bends in and become your blood and adrenaline. Change that before it reach that state. Go back and get a baby thought, a baby boy or girl, and make it look like your intelligence of elder energy, a thought that you have already in, and an organ that you've grown up in, but in the thought world, and make that man and woman youthful, like a boy or a girl, right? And I'm teaching y'all the fountain of the youth right now. And when you do that, it produces as your blood. So it's almost like you know how to go to the time travel year when you was producing the essence that bend in as blood when you was 13 and 14 years old. And when you're in your 20s, Saturn return, your 30s, and things of that nature, you're able to mix it with that accumulation, and it mixed with your blood that you're making now. And the more you do it, 3, 6, 9 months, years, especially years. Listen, y'all been on my page for 10 years, 15 years. Bend in and eventually it replaces all the new one with that one, and it play out in your anatomy as motherfucker, you reverse aging. That's the fountain of youth right there. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta know your cycle and your life path cycle to know how you do it though. Everybody do it different. If you're on life path 1, yours is different. You got 33 on the left side and you got 2 on the other side. So how you maintain, it's a fast way, because you could just do this with life, but it's a fast way to get there because it's numerology and gematria. Numerology, the art of deduction, learning what each singular thing mean, all the way to 1 through 9 and 0. And for the most part, gematria, how you can add these things together and compound, so it'll be mental addition. So the art of deduction, subtraction, numerology, gematria, the art of addition, being able to accumulate and add compound. So you can put numbers together, knowing the singular meaning in numerology, putting them together, and gematria to make an archetype that represents still a singular number, but fashioned with multiple things around it, to the point that it creates a golem or image or a character to keep more track on, something that you could jump on, like in a Latin carpet, with your feeling, jasmine, and your thought, Aladdin, being on that mental wave, that carpet, to go all the way down a timeline of a sentiment that you are the intellectual owner of, and things of that nature, to find the first form, like the Lilith form of it, and you be like a little creature. You like a little creature and shit. Like, and the older you is, the more you got control of everything. Like, I'm old as fuck. When y'all see me in that world before you can see my nothing, y'all saying, because they'd probably blind y'all or some shit like that, seeing me face to face and shit like that. Like, I would never tell. Y'all saying real shit. Y'all know, like, I know how to create all kind of imageries and shit like that. But I'm old as fuck in the spirit world. So down here, I only know how to be the smartest in all the younger forms. Like, everything is in reverse. You know what I'm saying? Like, watch, when I come back in this and be an atmosphere, y'all gonna be seeing me and whatever I make y'all create for me at the age of 5 and 6 years old, being the most highest intelligence and shit. If it's needed. You know what I'm saying? All right, but look, sentiment. Sentiment itself is the building blocks or the stepping tools or the remembrance of understanding how you're going to these spaces to emanate it. So let me finish my last point before we get into it. Optic. Everything has 3 layers. So when you go to optics of optics, that's the place you go where you find the substance we make all seas at. The ability to even see. But it's just seas, river flows, right? Then you have the astronomy and astrology version of it, father and mother version of it. So that'll be the second layer. So you can look at this in the esoteric world as you got the celestial part of it, optic of all optic, because we ain't even talking about celestial world, period. Just look at everything, got a yin and yang and 3 layers to it. So you got a celestial, then you got a terrestrial, then you got a celestial, be the ground basis. So you got the optics of all optic, where you're seeing the essence it makes to even make a see thing in the first place, right? That'd be the optic of all optic. Then you have that'd be celestial. Then you got the terrestrial, right? That'd be what y'all think is here in the spiritual world. So that'd be like an all-seeing eye. So that'd be how y'all make y'all first eye, y'all third eye. So where all spirits emanate that concept at, and where any pack of agreement, aka people see things from the same perspective, is that area. So you'll be able to see the whole, that you'll be able to jump in that world as a Melchizedek and see, hey, DB use that word. But just to make it, because y'all are so familiar with these terms, these don't even got words. You'll be able to see, because it's not that either. I don't want people to think they got on some intellectual property that what I'm pointing to, just to even say Melchizedek, to put it in the 3rd dimension for it can be sounded, for y'all to even have a point of reference what I'm talking about. So I'm saying? But when you go there, you're able to see all the seas that spirits are already in, thinking it's natural from a subjective, creating objective versions of it. So anybody you agree with, this is where you can see people who are soul tribes, people who are making pacts, oaths, people who are in faulty agreements based upon their desires, and then they're getting ready to destroy themselves. But they're thinking they're getting it in and doing some team. You'll be able to see all this area and everything that emanate from that area, right? Then you jump in to the celestial form of it. everybody ability to externalize that, and then where they're even making their 2 eyeballs at. So so when you go to that essence of the third, where you're giving a fruit for God, you're giving God another fruit filling that can bend in as an organ, because we're building all possibilities, another way to see. So what I do as an angel, I go to the optics of all optics, see what everybody doing, change a different way of seeing from that essence. So I be creating different things that what y'all call eyeballs. Man, I be creating shit that ain't even eyeballs. Different ways of seeing. How it play out in the third dimension, because I go in my little creature. I would never tell, bitch. And then when I come back down to the 1 to a third dimension and shit like that, right? It don't matter what you think. You think I'm look like you or whatever the case may be, right? But what do I give you that you can't debunk me? A different way of seeing something. As it is in heaven, as it is on earth, bitch. It's quality. Say quality gold. Quality gold. Now look. Boom. But this is what you have to do for God. You think you just listening to this like you about to get there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or you like Alice in Wonderland. You go click your 2 shoes together, you're gonna get there. That shit, like I tell y'all, in an anatomy, look at things that make sense. It don't matter who got the energy, it don't matter who got the word, it's the one who's wielding it. Don't matter who got the spells, who's wielding it. See what I'm saying? Don't matter who got the idea of something, it's who's expressing it. And if one person expresses something and they can't get away with it, they don't got it. If one person expressing the same thing but they can get away with it, they got it. There ain't no word to that. See what I'm saying? So we getting everybody there right now. There's some alien shit we got going on. See what I'm saying? Now look. Go there. Boom. Make another way of seeing. Jump into the jump from the terrestrial version of that into celestial version of that. Tweak everybody's first eye, third eye, all agreements and disagreements. Tweak all of it. Then play it out in the anatomy. I use all inanimate forms all the way to my body to play out that representation to the point that you seeing something a different way, even when you're looking at me in a way that you're familiar with. And that's the trick. But that makes it sounded. But when you're an angel, you're able to be sounded in ways that's mysterious. But yet, it's something. But yet, that's for the practitioner to be able to archetype. And when y'all are ready for certain shifts, we're able to have better words to give to y'all because y'all went through the necessary experiences. You'll be able to understand it without totally throwing it out right because you haven't went through the necessary experiences to extract the stimuli of thoughts and feelings to be able to see what I'm talking about. So spiritually, you're not there yet. You see what I'm saying? If y'all were still at that previous state. Now, good spiritual food for thought. I'm having mental orgasms all night. I ain't gonna front. I'm not there, y'all, but don't fuck with Dunkin' Donuts. I know how y'all be listening to me and other content creators and shit like that. Be like, ooh, this is another way to make money. Let's make people vote for this, make people pay extra taxes. No, leave Dunkin' Donuts alone. I don't give a fuck what y'all do with anything else. Hurricane and Mechanitas and Hurricane Hakanamas and all this shit. Make sure Dunkin' Donuts, this Dunkin' Donuts. And that long ass line there every morning. Just leave that alone. God damn it. Leave that alone. All right. Now, sentiment, right? Sentiment, are created. Sentiments are created from guilt, ego, distractions, greed, pride, or validation issues in some sort of way. I know y'all probably thinking like, oh, you breaking this all astral shit down like it's all good. Then the first thing you get into to help us understand this sentiment sound like a bunch of negative shit? Yes. Because to even reach this space that I'm in, you don't even need to have a sentiment. When you got too much of a sentiment, you lead into biases, but in its early stages where it appears to be protection, saving you from vulnerability. You know what I'm saying? The right thing to do. You might even manifest an enemy if you getting praised and congratulated for it. Even might start doing things that lead you in a certain path that's already in the business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics. That makes it seem like without doing it, you wouldn't even have a roof over your head. So not only are you getting praised, it's appearing to be like you're being a good citizen or you're being the right thing in the world. probably docile, but at the same time, get ready to get taken advantage of with your contract. But at the same time, get ready to get used and abused by your family. But at the same time, you still think it's all good. You know, you start getting spiritually attacked, and you start to realize real quick, damn, I ain't taking none of this with me. Let me go ahead and shave my head like I'm Britney Spears. You know what I'm saying? However the case may be. So, reason why it's negative, because for you to have a sentiment, you're already coming from a backing of self-entitlement, validation, or lack of, and when it comes into these things, it's not always seen as negative. It ain't what we see, is how we see it. So, whether you was born sheltered or went through a lot of things, some of these things are justified, and some of these things have to be used as that internal passion or fire for you to even go for something in the first place, or build courage and motivation for in the first place. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just once you go through situations, got to know how to check it. And if you don't know that's what's going on, these things will check you. These things that lead you into some hasty, strange things for a piece of change to obtain the things on your brain, situations and things of that nature. Bars. Because, you know what I'm saying? You going for something that seemed like it was promising, but the levels of extreme things you was willing to do it sometimes may lead you in, disgruntled situations. And if you're not learning from that disgruntled situation, you may not know that you may be going too far with something, not understanding that you're in the wrong sentiment about it. The way you see it about something. You got a job and think that a employee don't like you. No, it ain't even really expressed that, but the sentiment you in, you're self-reflecting, not knowing, give that energy off to them, and you manifest an actual enemy at the job, or animosity, due to the fact of you not checking yourself, and you thinking your goal is more important, and you may even develop certain biases there, where the main reason why you got this energy of thinking that this coworker don't like you, because you think they're hating on you because your car better than theirs, or something like that. So you got to get about your own motherfucking shit, and they probably ain't even thinking about that. You know what I'm saying? Peep game. So, sentiments are created from guilt, ego, distraction, greed, pride, validation issues in some sort of way, or it's only used to mask or cover up the true objective of something. So, this where you from Europe, we for everybody, or you're in Christianity or whatever the case may be, in paganism or however they duplicate it, right? Romanticism needs to be used. And if you're native from here and things of that nature, this was my channel for before I write my book and stuff like that, because natives don't really do that. We need to start doing shit like that. They're doing it now. Shout out to everybody on my Catawbas, all my creeks out there, Barracudas and shit like that, Cherokees, Redfoots, even a lot of the Aboriginals that do got more a percentage level of they shit in there. Shout out to all y'all and shit. The ones that's not confusing things that do, and the ones that y'all should be FBA. You know what I'm saying? The things that I don't know why y'all don't fuck with Tariq. He actually doing, I even suggest Pan Africans. Man, throw away that shit and all y'all back and support Tariq. That because if you already a mutt, you know it, but you was born in America too, you're already a casualty of the Sons of Liberty, what they did to the natives, brought all these Asians, Haitians, and Africans over here to mix with the natives and stuff like. You're already a casualty to that. So you need to be in a position of creating your own religion, your own shit, your own name, and y'all native to this soil shit, born up under this sun. Y'all have to. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all not doing that, something wrong. Like, y'all gonna be still in some type of religious type shit that y'all ain't even y'all ain't intellectual property owners of. Whoever the owners of that, they use that for you to not even have no rulership in the first place. It was easy to come over there and take over y'all Asians, y'all Arabs that they trying to bling y'all with us and make y'all claim y'all Indians and stuff. India, that's all fake. Them all Arabs. They not even red. That they don't even look like they from Clovis or Asia or something like that. Arabs don't look nothing like that. Arabs don't even got the ting 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 ting. Arabs don't even got that dude Vivek Ramaswamy, an Arab. Why y'all doing that to everybody? The Washi ain't shit. They mixing everybody up, confusing everybody, and confuse your genealogies and shit to make y'all go to the land y'all ain't from. I say shit why they take over your land they ain't from. These cats been doing that for the past 300 to 400 years. Y'all ain't peep game yet. They create remix history to make it seem like you wasn't from somewhere first. That nature and God show the sun made you there, and the sun didn't make them. Ain't that say shit for real? I love everybody. I love all y'all. Hey, it's the stimuli way. It's the stimuli way. We need to love all of ourselves. But that's where this come in. Sentiment, animism, or if you're into all that, romanticism. And for the most part, you will start to understand before the guilt, ego, distraction, greed, pride, validation even get externalized. You know that these are traits you have in yourself that you could go down that line of reasoning and train of thought, masculine and feminine, and duplicate it. So now it becomes something you know you have, and it ain't something you can get rid of. It's just something you got to deal with. It ain't what you deal with, it's how you deal with it. All the way down to that fear. So you need to look at someone like who's probably doing more things to you, not that they have more courage than you, is how they're dealing with their fear than how you're dealing with it. And they're dealing with it better than you. So both of y'all got the what? The fear, but the how was everything. And you could get confused into thinking that you need to go and search for courage and search for love when God always tell you it's right in front of you, child, and you're supposed to make it. You're supposed to make love. You're supposed to make that energy. You see what I'm saying? You're supposed to make whatever it takes to deal with fear better than how you was previously dealing with and thinking that it was something that another individual lacked. No, it wasn't something that they an individual lacked, which was fear. It was something that they had. And it may not always be what you doing. It may be what you not doing. See what I'm saying? So whatever that they had, which it wasn't the what, but what was fear, how they dealt with it, developed other tools to combat it that was larger on a percentage scale. It didn't outweigh their actions and their decision making the way you allow it to do. See what I'm saying? So look at it in this natural state like that. You're dealing with yourself first before you even get pushed out. And the more you use it like a bitch inside of you, these slaves, men, these bitches, these women, and you ain't got to use those terms. But now that you look at it, I guarantee you'll even be able to read your Bible better. You know what I'm saying? What have I been telling y'all for 10 years? How to look at the Bible in its most natural state? I should have been got my Nobel Peace Prize. Every thought is a goddamn man. Every woman is a different feeling. And when you look at it within its context, now you know how men live for 300 years and shit like that. And you ain't got to be arguing for no retarded shit thinking that once upon a time in some real life Garden of Eden, men used to live for 300 years. Well, in other breaths and in other scriptures, you know damn well you speaking in parables and it's an esoteric book about the mind. Bitch, where did it stop when we talking about it like that, motherfucker? Astronomy and astrology. Me and you come up with a man and a thought and a feeling that, and an expression when people is in that, when people is in that environment, in that atmosphere. Now, what did y'all do in that anatomy? Y'all probably built a business off of it, right? Now, let's say even when you die, people who came after you with that same sentiment, right? That same man and woman, thought and feeling, even if it's your children, carry that legacy on, aka that car lot, that business, that crayon box company, however the case may be, right? Then for the most part, here's the thing. Guess what's getting ready to live for 100 years, 200 years? That legacy. And what is that legacy a collection of? Men and women, thoughts and feelings. And if your children was willing to write that shit down, then for the most part, no one got to get confused on how men and women live for 300 years because they still having that man and woman still live today, aka they business still running, bitch. So praise your children. You know what I'm saying? Praise your babies, your creations. Because when they grow up, become men and women, adults, you could be able to sit and let your children that grew up take care of you. And you could be in a young body, but an old ass spirit inside of it, allowing your children, your creative gifts, take care of you, go beyond you. And you could sit down and get more throughout the world by less of your time and be able to look at other individuals who have to give more of their time for less and crumbs out of the world. And that's when you know, goddamn it, you done gave birth to some beautiful motherfucking children. God taught you that. God taught you that. You know what I'm saying? God taught you that shit. Now look, right? So when you understand sentiment, you know that you went down line of reasonings and trains of thoughts that you have fucked around and didn't do the right animism or romanticism, and you have let these things get the best of you. So any person externally that's in that same space as you spiritually, they're emanating those same forms, and they see that same world you at from the astrology mama world. So in an anatomy, you're going to attract a person that's better than you at it, or a person you could take advantage of it, or a person that you have this, y'all keep each other stagnated in each other's lives by being in that energy based upon, I don't want to get out of the energy. I'm going to make sure you don't get out of this energy. Or you supposed to stay in this energy. You just like me. You come from my background. Where you going? You ain't supposed to look at yourself better. Or you may be getting chased by individuals like that. Where you going? You ain't that talent. You ain't that gift. Where you going? Or you know what I'm saying? All that start happening. and shit like that when you don't know how to tweak it. So when you deal with that, you don't have to develop so much baggage internally that when you express it outwardly, all that shit come from it. When you check these things in yourself and you know that these are things you got, and you know that your own shit stink. You ain't got no shit that don't stink. Your shit stink too. You just know how to cover it up real good. AKA when you'll start to look at other individuals as a fool because there's certain ways that they're expressing themselves, even when it appear like it's normal, positive outcomes from it and stuff like that, you're still able to see when there's an energy that a person expressing that you wouldn't express because you know where it leads to, regardless of what it's getting it in at the middle or currently as getting it in while they're getting this good, whether it's validation, attention, or however the case may be. And for the most part, you're always able to sit back and see front row seat at the movie theater, the end of this person's movie, whatever they thought they was getting attention for. And guess what? It was a movie that they ain't really thought they was playing in, that they don't want to be in once it's at the end because it ain't working in their favor. See what I'm saying? So that'll keep you in check too, so you don't get jealous at the beginning and the middle of the movie thinking this person is in a better position than you on the world stage. Then you get jealous, do some crazy things, and then you ain't even wait to the end of the movie to start to realize you wasn't missing nothing, and you was only accumulating the intelligence to be in that position like them, just in a better position where you're able to not get taken out of it. You're able to not get tricked out of your position. See what I'm saying? So peep game like that. Now, creating a form that matches sentiment. So this is how we're getting ready to start to look at how to treat things like a bitch. Because what I'm actually teaching y'all is how to build a body, but not know the same one, and going back, how to build a new organ that's indifferent to this one, because we're always jumping into things to use it to make new things, not jumping into things to use it to make the same thing. So a lot of times that's like a lot of the religious practices, Masonic practices, a lot of things they have got confused with animism, that right now I'm giving back to everybody, even them. Shout out to every Mason, but everybody. So things could be more constructed too for everybody and shit like that, where we start to understand we're actually making an organ, not going to a world, but we're making this world. And that's why you got a more sufficient organ than an animal. That's in existence. That's a reason. We can't run away from that, or we're going to be going backwards. And that carnation, incarnation, reincarnation energy is going to be structured in such a way where we keep developing malfunctioning organs, malfunctioning bone structures. So we get less and less of emanating organs that fashion the atmosphere, and get more and more stuck into fashioning organs that match more animals again. And you wouldn't even be in a human body right now, being closer to the atmosphere, if this ain't even an evolutionary path anyway. But it ain't what we do, is how we do it. And you don't want to do it in a retarded way, because even in a human body at the moment, the way we are creating atmospheres amongst each other is retarded, and the way that we're utilizing the environment is retarded. So the way that we're utilizing our brain and our body is retarded. And I think we are more retarded on a percentage scale than intelligent. Trust me. I watch NASA. I be listening to TLC and shit like that. We still talking about light traveling and having a speed, but we can't see that in light still. We still talking about atoms going in and out of existence. We ain't found the one that came in existence yet. So y'all said we gotta think, what is we pointing to when we say these things? Can we point to the right things? Can we start pointing to the right things when we talk about this? You know what I'm saying? So you know the native shaman always got to come give y'all that. The esoteric medicine. This that esoteric spiritual medicine. You know what I'm saying? This is where the real Birdman hands need to rub in this motherfucker. You feel me? So, like I said, to treat it like a bitch, you treat yourself like a bitch. So when you fashion these things outwardly, it's not even crafted like a sentiment that's filtered from the original states of guilt, ego, distraction, greed, pride, or validation. You actually start to express the opposite. You're trying to get validated, but you're trying to get validated for a person who don't like validations, who don't care for validations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got an ego, but you want your ego to be something that's egoless. So you want to have this ego to show other people you're not in an ego when they are in an ego. And you could destroy them at will because they're lost in a desire. So what we do is how you do it. You fighting fire with fire now, aka melting one transition mentally that became an organ, creating another one, using the very same one that you created in the first place to make something new, aka that's how we're fashioning forms, fashioning worlds. But you have to do it with the mechanism that you have currently. See what I'm saying? So use that. Don't be totally religious out to the point that you're not utilizing your mind for what it's used for right now, and you're utilizing a whole bunch of things you think is intelligent for a life that ain't here yet. So you're just going to duplicate a same similar life now that's even more rooted and structured and bounded into not remembering shit, to the point that you're so religious, redoing things out so much, you might end up creating a world of non-existence that still exists. So you end up going to a mind like Mormonism that really is part of the atmosphere, but confined within the atmosphere based upon all the thoughts you thought you was, that was confined. So you a spirit and a mind and a body that could come with all of us as an atmosphere, but something in the atmosphere that can't escape itself. So it'd be still like, so your own hell mentally that you never can even express physically amongst everybody else. You didn't got trapped too much in your mind, and your mind is still a form of existence. So you don't want to do that, because you could get trapped in other people's minds that has it tied to an existence as a form of inside out, having an organ attached to it, and you'll be living in somebody else's mind. And if that spirit is a fucked up spirit in a fucked up space, every thought and feeling that you attach to as a spirit with your thoughts and feelings, you will only experience their world thinking it's your world, and now you experience a motherfucker hell, and you will have to get born through that motherfucker. So if that person ain't fucking and getting you born out, man, you will be a person trapped in this atmosphere, just fucked up as hell, because you done made a feeling, exerted it as an atmosphere along with all of us. It's so rooted though, this piece of atmosphere think it's something physical. As a spirit, it's so foggy. Your spirit is inside of something that's so foggy and think it's real, but it's still an atmosphere. It don't even move with the atmosphere, be an atmosphere, but you as a spirit inside of it, you think it's whatever all these thoughts you was thinking. So for the most part, it can only be light enough as a mind. You inside of it, you made it so heavy, so much feelings, so you can only live in a lighter world thinking you heavy, and reverse in someone else's lighter world that's already in the physical, because we always coming out, physical body being your God. You inside of their mind and shit like that. You gonna wish you can die. Wish you can goddamn someone could fuck, and you can go into another form and be like, I'm ready to just do this shit over. I'm never getting trapped again. You'll be some extreme preacher that lifetime. You'll be just like me that lifetime, just not so many of them. I've been in hell for eons. So it'll be something that you mentally stressed out if you don't do. I gotta go to church every day. I gotta. You know what I'm saying? Gotta be careful. This is a spiritual thing out here. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is what you are. This is how you hear. This is how you see all the other spirits. So, now that you understand that sentiment leads to negative energy, you know how to deal with your negative energy within self. You see it and not even negative, because it's not negative once you deal with it within yourself with the animism, romanticism. And then for the most part, you're able to transmute it to the point that your negativity ain't seen as negative. It's seen as positive. It's seen like, ooh, I need these things to eat. I'm eating. You know what I'm saying? As the spirit, you eat thoughts and feelings. And anytime you see something that, ooh, is willing to be transmuted, and you could jump in that world and see how everybody use it to think it's positive, but it's actually negative, you're jumping out of the bias of what's good and bad into this natural essence of it, and being able to use it as will, and you make it be what it be. And then whoever see it, when you jump out and express it and jump into the enemy, whoever see it as negative, you tear down their beliefs and biases, and whoever see it as positive, you tear down their beliefs and biases, due to the fact of you being in some stimuli of, you know what I'm saying, you want to be validated on things of not caring about validations. So you fucking everybody's head up doing things in mysterious ways, and create a new sentiment where people got to come up with a new stereotype, a new statistic. So you're not becoming a statistic, you're creating a statistic. So we got to come up with a new concept of what this means. Do we validate this good, or do we validate this as bad? You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. But yet you're getting all this energy, all this attention. You're bringing something new in the world. It's up to you to transmute it and do something for God and make sure it is good for yourself and others. The moment it becomes greed, it becomes an ego where you reach the height others can't reach, but you ain't going further. So you can't be the example to go the distance. You're stuck in a world that's above others, not going the distance because of whatever you fear. Maybe you fear of not being seen a certain way, so it may not accumulate attention. Maybe that beating peak. Boom, everybody up under you need to learn how to get to at least where you at, but yet you're not willing to go the distance, so you don't have to play out an ego and make everybody up under you do what you think that they need you to do. So for the most part, you're not end up becoming a narc and being stuck in your own world that reached a level of heights, maybe a little further than others, to the point that you become a misguided individual and misusing your power. That really ain't power. It's just what we all need to be doing. And for the most part, it can become power when other individuals don't know how to get there, because we're in a circumstance where we're not teaching each other nothing. We're only reminding each other what we already know. So even if you're reminded you're in a lower or more condensed space or imploded space than someone else, you're even going through this shift along with everybody else to be reminded there is other shifts that you need to expand into, and there's things that you're in that you need to get the fuck up out. Point blank, period. So I'm saying? So you either get out your ego, get out of what's holding you back, get out of whatever you were seeing yourself that looked like it's holding you back, but it was previously accumulating to something, and you need to look at that like that is the shift. Think about it like this. You like a theologian utilizing apologetics, so you then went to college and you about in your 60s right now. So can nobody tell you anything different? And you lost in this spell of if you're wrong, you don't want to be right. Yet we're going through a new shift right now where everything that you don't want to be wrong, I mean, if you're wrong, you don't want to be right about, you're starting to be proved that you're starting to be proved right now that you're actually wrong. And you need to get right. And the longer you deal with that, oh, I'm around family, they might look at me as weird because I ain't never sound like this before, and I ain't never did this, or go against something, boom, 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 boom. Ooh, you getting outdated. You getting ready to be in this new hell. New organ you get ready to create. This one might even be an animal-looking one. And it might be something that you don't want to repeat. Check yourself. Check your motherfucker self. We're going through a motherfucking new shift. Don't take this lightly. Don't take the way you see things lightly. Your spirit is in an overall new shift. And father and mother, the condensed version of it, the meaning of it, you sense it, and an enemy. It's inevitable. Bars. Not even a play on words. We see it physically. See what I'm saying? All this crazy stuff going on and stuff like that, and not even us being able to utilize the same mental stimuli or even the negative things we was using. None of them work. All the way down to religion and stuff like that. When it was even used as negative or positive, at least it was able to be used. It's not even able to be used right now. See what I'm saying? Like, it's shit like that going on right now. Like, the old shit that worked good and bad for people not even being able to be used. Everybody, it's a free fall. The shift is real. Don't think this motherfucker shit is pseudo. But like I said, right? Maybe these words got baggages on it that make it appear to be pseudo. But you can't tell me ain't motherfuckers that feel behind right now. That shit that you know you wish you shoulda, coulda, woulda from 2020. 2016, 2020 right now, and then on to 2024 where we at right now, where you can look back at 2020 like, damn, I shoulda, woulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Oh, I thought this would have been here forever, or I thought that would have, you know what I'm saying? You can't tell me. So I'm saying? So it's letting you know what the fuck. Whether you comfortable or not, whether you got money or not, you know it ain't about that. You know it's other shit going on. Your sentiment, how you feel, how things are seen, people around you, they're not reacting the same shit. It was once upon a time, let's just make something simple. Once upon a time, people was fully invested into sports. Think about 2020 and musicians and things of that nature. After that, it was a free fall. Motherfuckers, still ain't never been the same. They ain't never reached the amount of records and ticket sales as much, unless they got some manipulation behind it, because, you know, individuals still trying to get paid like the government, you know, and then let them do what they do. That's what they do. Other than that, as long as ain't nobody getting harmed. But we see that happening. We see how sports were once upon a time, motherfuckers was calling off work and things of that nature. And motherfuckers ain't really thinking about that right now. If they got to call out work and shit like that because the pay. And motherfuckers ain't doing that. They be like, oh, I'll just catch it. I'll Netflix it or something like that. Well, however they do it. But we starting to see that. You can't even use the same things anymore that motherfuckers was willing to enjoy. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure on a percentage scale, not just marriage, due to the fact of all this relationship and things of that nature, and red pill and feminist and gender war, but let's even look at concepts like family reunions. You know what I'm saying? Holiday gatherings. Ever since social distancing and all this other motherfucking shit, all that shit went down the drain. You know what I'm saying? That's like a dime a dozen. You got to be real strong, structured, having your own culture and shit like that to still uphold that. F that. Y'all even care about it like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Everything different. So it's just a tear down, even when individuals that's maybe a little bit behind some of these things even think that they was doing things for good causes. But they're even able to look back at themselves along with all of us also to see that, damn, we really just getting all 1, 2 together, but there's a shift going on that we really ain't all prepared for. You know what I'm saying? Where we thought we were surviving, but what we surviving for, as far as this new shift, don't even use these things. Like that's the space we all in. Like the things we was doing that, and it was just like a snap on, snap off, whether you in control or not. For everybody, it's like once upon a time, shit that was all good just a week ago that we was using that still seemed like it was at its end of stage, but we ain't see it that way. We like, nah, this might just be something in our mind. These beliefs and everything we doing is still intact. Like it ain't, life ain't no other way. Then it was just like a snap on, snap off. I say like snap on, snap off. Everything we was using for that don't work no more. It's like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? You can even see that in politics. Man, it's mad shit that, you know, even 2 to 3 years ago, we could still be like, damn, I was fully convinced And it's like snap on, snap off, wrestling ain't real. Snap on, snap off, Power Rangers was this mixing Chinese people karate shows and shit, and this mixing bodies on it. You know what I'm saying? And snap on, snap off. Damn, politics is this. It's like, damn, it's like everything fucked up right now. Like, we really had like some Constantine shit. Like, we in a new world right now, for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta peep game. You know what I'm saying? Snap on, snap off. No television shows is good no more. We find ourselves binge watching reruns. I know I do. I go back to the old shit. Cartoons, even wrestling. I ain't watching in a while, but every time I do, I mean, or on YouTube or something like that, WCW Nitro or old WWF with a lot of native hobbyism in there, like with Sting and all them, and Shawn Michaels and shit. Shawn Michaels my favorite wrestler and shit like that. And I always knew that too. I always knew why. I sound like, this is all you copy just like me, just like my, you know what I'm saying? Just like my mom. Why you just like my mom? I said my aunties and shit. I just like my grandma and shit. I said I used to always think it was going down and shit like. I said that's why from the beginning of my channel, y'all always seen Shawn Michaels just like me, not me just like Shawn Michaels. I said I'm native, bitch. I'm native, bitch. You know what I said, but Shawn Michaels my favorite wrestler though. I'm saying shout out to Shawn Michaels. But that's it. I don't give a fuck about shit now. I said, they shit, man. The last of the golden stage. Goldberg, WCW, Stone Cold Steve Austin, WWF. Man, WWE, I don't even like that. I don't like that lingo. You know what I'm saying? Vince McMahon, greedy ass. Always trying to get paid. I said, always trying to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Y'all must have forgot or something like that. He had the same case P. Diddy got at the same time, too. We gonna sweep him under the rug. We're gonna sweep his ass under the rug. You know what I'm saying? Sweep him, hey, yeah, y'all. Hey, here go P. Diddy, y'all. Here go P. Diddy. Yeah, let's get P. Diddy. Get him. Let's get him, boys. No, that's fucked up. That's fucked up as shit. Don't put P. Diddy in jail by himself. No, damn well he got about 15 or 20 other conspirators and shit like that we all know is billionaires. I said we all know. Hey, how about releasing them names? I said, how about releasing them names? I said, don't tease us like this. Oh, hey, next time on Dragon Ball Z. Nah, come on, man. I had enough years of that. I had enough years of that in high school. I'm like, well, next time on Dragon Ball, come on, don't stop doing that. Don't do that. And please don't put up no Grand Trine. Just put Trump by himself this week. Don't put up no Grand Trine or Oprah, Kamala. So we got the Aquarius and the Libra at it with the Gemini. Oh, that's too much. My mind fucked up now. I might have to get off online for a whole week. Just to protect myself from migraines and stuff like that and confusion and stuff. My head messed up and more mental illnesses and stuff like that. Then going outside, other people start talking their mental illness and stuff. And my eardrums explode and no one cool no more. Everybody on the block don't like each other no more. Everybody got time for that. The old washy hoo-way. Damn, the bastard's back. The bastard's back, y'all. God damn, the bastard's back. Oh, damn bastards. Oh, that stuff's living. Oh, let's blow some air. Oh, shit. What happened? God, I can't live here no more. Shit. Oh, what happened? You know damn well what happened. Shit, there's something floating in the air right now. I can't breathe and shit like that. How come a week later, they all there. It's somehow the air cool now and shit like that. Shit, all fucking there. You can have it. You can have that spot. What state is called now? Y'all said it. So it ain't a tribe lord. So what state? Fuck it. Y'all said shit. You win. Y'all said god damn. Shit. This show ain't going no further. I'm tired of walking. It took all the horses from us. I'm walking 40 days, 40 nights to California. I'm tired. My kneecaps hurt. And shit. Kneecaps. Oh, sad. But look, check it out, right? So creating a form. So creating a form that match a sentiment. So anytime you in some type of energy, especially when you're around others. A lot of y'all got like greedy family members, like friends, associates, and coworkers and shit like that. So a lot of times you have to be the spiritual adult. So it ain't playing tit for tat. Because a lot of times you'll be trying to get your way. For an example, let's make it simple. You know, you might got a family friend or a coworker that needs your assistance. Take them to work. They constantly borrow money. Don't know how to pay it back on time. You want to play tit for tat, right? So now you're kind of like in their sentiment where Now you want to prove to them something or force them to pay you back faster or prove to them that, yeah, you overusing your energy or however the case may be. So you don't know at times that a person's sentiment that you care about, you can nip something in the butt knowing that they're in an energy that they're not able to check. So when a person don't know how to check the sentiment for themselves, that's all. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of times when a person is in a sentiment and you know that they can't check themselves, you can go down that time travel and go into the future. You can go down that line of train of thought, line of reasoning, and reach a point where you can see all the situations that play out from that, especially the possibilities, could lead into you having to cuss them out, or the situation of the relationship becoming negative due to the fact of them not able to check themselves, because every time you give them an inch, they stretch it out to another mile, and they don't know that the actual sentiment of something that plays out negative. And when y'all reach that negative situation, you know that they'll only be in a position of blaming you, or they'll be in a situation of you playing victim in some way, or not taking accountability. So it's almost like you will have to nip something in the butt before you have to play out the three nature of it, the overall extreme negative fire, where you could go in the layer, not let it go that far, see the meaning of it to see where it go, so you can stop it there, then go to an enemy, nip something in the butt fast, so whatever early small percentage level of negative, even if it's that negative at all, 9 times out of 10, I say 8 times out of 10 is more respect that get manifested from it when you nip something in the butt early. When you do it that little small get back prevent the negative get back, and also saves that relationship you have with that person, and you actually drive for yourself and others. You thought for yourself and others, and they actually don't know that you're raising them. They actually don't know that you actually protected your relationship. You actually baby feed them. You nurtured them. You gave them some milk. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, it was things that the baby didn't know that you only know. So you got to burp the baby because the baby don't know how to burp themselves. But without you, the baby wouldn't even be able to breathe again, or have to go through some stress or extreme and for themselves to burp themselves. AKA this person around you, both of y'all got to go through some extreme disgruntled situations with each other for them to know what they're doing. And once they get that far, they may be in a position where they don't even want to give you the benefit of doubt of taking accountability in front of you and things of that nature. So they rather give it some distance, hope you play stupid and forget, than fake smile in your face again, like you don't just remember the negative energy that they was just creating. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta look at it from that aspect. You gotta treat people like children sometimes in the spiritual world, even if it's in reverse in the physical. They're in a more adult body than you. They're older than you. You know what I'm saying? They're not older than you in the spiritual world, so you're the practitioner there. You're the adult. So when it comes into the sentiment and you start to see the guilt within you and where another person is at, you know where they're possibly at in themselves, because you dealt with that in yourself. And since you got a brain just like them, you got the shock, you know that they got the chakra that you got, you know that, okay, well, I know how to handle that area as within, so without, better than they know how to handle that area as within, so without. So what can I do with this? Am I going to take advantage of this person, or I'm going to put this person on game, or if I'm going to lead them where they at, or am I going to raise them up, or am I going to put them in a situation where what they need to be, or totally detach from the situation at whole because I know where it leads? Now you God's child. You're God's child because you're able to find ones that you can choose, because you the one doing the chosen. You the one doing the choosing, because you chose yourself, just like God taught you to do, because ain't nobody choose God. So when you choose yourself, you could be a child for God and play a small representation of that down here to find individuals and put them in a situation so they can be themselves better, so they can choose themselves. And once you become the chooser, you become the individual that can play out for God and things of that nature, right? Now, what you choose to do with this energy It's on you. It ain't what we do, it's how we do it. And like I told you, blood on your hands, backfiring is always there as a possibility. So don't turn things into a desire and expectation. Always use it as a will. And when it's a will, whether you're wielding a sword or energy, a stone, or however the case may be, it may be times you don't even have to wield it. You know what I'm saying? And it may be times you have to use it for your own will when you're going through thunders and storms and trial and tribulations as your own windshield, just so you can see, aka when you're meditating and you're not doing anything for others, but yet you're in a space of being more intelligent to others. So, you know, sometimes it's about and playing your goddamn role until it's time to express, and then that's when let God tell you when it's time to do that, and then therefore you're always from the position of God outside looking in. Now you are of the world, not in it. So for the most part, here's the thing. Once you see a sentiment, create a form that matches that sentiment. Then, right, go to the essence once you go to that sentiment. Look at the sentiment like a city or state. States of being are states in Babylon where many men and women live, thoughts and feelings. And if you know what state of mind, state of being, your spirit, and the state in Babylon you at, you can know when you even at a demonic party. And you're a thought and a feeling in that world, your spaceship, amongst other demons in that world. And you're all in that world as spiritual spaces, utilizing y'all gas and the spaceship. Spaceship, fire, gas, emotion. And for the most part, all of y'all are gassed up, slow, fast. Some may be more retarded. Some may be more intelligent. Some may be narcs. Some trying to play like they're the God and holy ones of that world. But truly, you're being a demon in a demonic world itself, just trying to be the God amongst other devils. You know what I'm saying? So how you better than another individual? It's like how you gonna throw rocks at a glass house and you got one. It's like that kind of energy. You see what I'm saying? Where you have to say in this space, fuck being humble. You got to be modest. Where you're not humble, but you're modest enough to put yourself in the same position where someone may consider you to be humble. Yet you don't let a spiritual crab drag you in a bucket to make you feel guilty to humble you as if you not the shit about whatever you do. So when you are in a position of being modest, you're able to share the same space as someone, but also have that esoteric, healthy boundary of that person knowing their mind. You're willing to remind them you're not as them either, which is why you're able to maintain your creativity and your expression of who you think you are, even around them without them having a judgment, unless it's going to be in their motherfucking head as a 2 cents. And everybody got 2 cents. It's like toilet paper. You can wipe your motherfucking ass with it. I'm going to be who the fuck I am and when I'm here. See what I'm saying? The moment a person make you feel guilty, oh, you just got that good old shiny car and record deal, movie deal. Don't forget where you came from or whatever like that. The moment you be like, oh yeah, I'm humble or whatever. The moment that everything you was in that wasn't that you should have been modest will be used for these motherfuckers that's making you feel guilty and really trying to humble you. And for the most part, everything you got that you allow God to give you, you end up giving to them, and you ain't even in that position to attain it anymore. Lose it all, don't know how to get it again. And then that's when God will really show your ass. You didn't humble yourself to amongst demons, even if they came in the form of fashion of your motherfucker family, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You got to understand what the fuck is going on. When God gives you something, you got to be careful with that. That's precious gems. And what's good for you may not be good for someone else. And what's good for someone else may not be good for you. And can't nobody take what God give them. So when you get out of all these biases, good and bad, right or wrong, you understand that in its natural state from an equilibrium space, center path space. So therefore, you're able to put yourself in a better aspect of how you're dealing with individuals. Even when you're around others, that what may be good for them may not be good for you. And what's good for you may not be good for them. What's good for you is staying out of jail. That's good for you. It may not be good for them. It's bad. But on the flip side, what's good for them may not be good for you. What ain't good for you is going to jail. It may be good for them to go to jail. I'm just using this as an example. Right? Now, you might look at jail itself in an enemy. Oh, it's bad because the government, or it's good because it, whatever the case you're on. Okay, that's one thing. But then another thing is, if this is someone you truly care about, and you're in a different space than them because you're not constantly going to jail, then obviously, without it being right or wrong or good and bad, it's still a gift that God gave them. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. And you can't take away a gift that God gave motherfuckers in this mother. You see what I'm saying? So if God gave them a good gift of them constantly going to jail, obviously you trying to help them and stop them from doing it or getting cheated on or whatever the case, or stop being stupid, you trying to take a gift that God gave them away from them. You know what I'm saying? And what may be good for them ain't good for you. So once you take what God gave you and give to them, and you trying to take away what God gave them as a gift, just because you're seeing it through some bias or good or bad and shit like that, you missed the whole goddamn purpose in this motherfucker shit. So obviously you put yourself into a goddamn situation where you manifest the same shit as them because you being retarded. And you need to realize you can't take away what God gave them as a gift. And just because it was a gift of something that ain't good for you, but it's good for them, even if it's jail, your ass need to go ahead and realize that and go ahead and mix yourself with a better surrounding or a better energy about your motherfucking self before you let people that like esoteric crabs drag you in the same situation as them. Even if you're not in jail, your pocket, they dragged you to have the same pockets as them. The only difference is you got outdoors, your free pockets like jeans and sweatpants and stuff. Their pockets might not ever got no pockets. You got to put money on their damn books because they in a jail outfit and shit like that. But so it ain't about the physical pocket itself, but it's the esoteric currency. Both y'all are spiritually broke that manifested in the goddamn physical world. They broke in jail calling you broke because all your money went to their books and their phone calls. And you know that if they was to get out of jail or call the homies, you ain't gonna look right because you the homie with the most money, the breadwinner, and you want to act funny with your money by putting it on their goddamn book so they could call the rest of the homies and beg again and shit like. So you just lost in some type of docile energy of can't get out because your retarded ass ain't understanding sentiment. You know what I'm saying? So, for the most part, creating a form that matches sentiment, then use that same substance to create another form of it. Then proceed to expand that world by doing as above, so below with your as within, so without emanation quality. So as within is you go into that world. As without is the mechanism you're getting ready to produce from that in within world. And then once you create that mechanism as within, so without, fire, water, it becomes as above, air, and they condense and become earth. Everything you can see as far as attention accumulation, energy vibe that you can pick up to be like, this might be the right move, this may not be, and shit like that. And then this produces a different atmosphere that condenses and become an environment. An environment which you are the living spirit, aka the space within that mind, aka the atmosphere, and brain, aka environment. And you end up being the main practitioner that bring all the people to the party, or if you're a female, bring all the boys to the yard, like Khalees, with your milkshake. See what I'm saying? And you become the space that's with the source, not let the source be with you, the space that's in the source of whatever you're practicing at the moment, because it's endless things out here. And if it's infinite, and we can make all kind of shit for God. You know what I'm saying? Make a whole thing of seeing that don't even take eyes. Make a whole being with just one eye. I'm cold with it. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, it's like creating the space. I mean, you're a spirit, right? Creating the atmosphere that produces as the environment that attract others to mimic it, aka if it's an enjoyable energy, it ain't teaching, it ain't ego, it's only reminding you what you already know, it's only making you feel like this is okay to align with, and therefore everybody adding their own subjective seed and now making something subjective objective, and if that's an atmosphere, it's getting ready to become the environment, aka from father and mother, and that's a fruit, a new expression that got emanated out of God, and the spirits that gave that fruit to God be the ones that represent it and play out an anatomy for any other species to exist in the first place that we compare and contrast into. And it's endless species we see. A lot of ones we discover, all the way to other humanoids in different islands. Where do that come from? I'm breaking it down. See what I'm saying? So if you're an intelligent spiritual root race, Now you got something to stand on and know why. Welcome to the new alien world, 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Y'all stay spiritually protected. Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the mind of an Terry's Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. That's it. Woo! Goddamn.